Welcome to Charleston, West Virginia in the beautiful Rock Lake Putt-Putt Golf and Games Fun Center, where today we'll be bringing you highlights from over 80 of the nation's top putters competing for the most coveted tournament title in the sport of putting, the Professional Putters Association National Championship. Sponsored by Putt-Putt Golf Courses of America and your local Putt-Putt golf course with over 300 locations worldwide. Putt-Putt Golf is your leader for family fun. I'm David Lloyd, and I'll be bringing you today's action as the PPA crowns its 35th national champion since its inception in 1960. The sport of putting equates in prestige to the U.S. Open in the game of golf. The first national champion in PPA history was a youngster named Neil Connor of Greenville, South Carolina. He was dubbed Little Tiger by his fellow players for his aggressive play. Neil is now a member of the PPA Hall of Fame and was also a contestant in the first ever PPA TV series. Our defending champion, Andy Corradini from Atlanta, Georgia, has some of the same characteristics as Neil. Always an aggressive player, Andy won his first major title in Norfolk, Virginia in 1993. He has been a great champion and will attempt to become only the fifth two-time winner of this event and the first person to successfully defend a PPA National Championship title. Out on the course, players have been directed to stop practice by National Tournament Director Joe A. Boyd, and as is customary before every PPA tournament, they pause for the national anthem. The players will be receiving last-minute instructions and going over any special rules they may encounter while playing on this beautiful facility. While they're doing that, we'll take a break and be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the PPA National Championship. Let's listen as the PPA National Tournament Director begins teeing off today's pro field.
Our defending champion from Lithonia, Georgia, on the tee is Andy Corradini.
And Andy Corradini has been a pro since 1984, 31 years of age, and has posted lifetime money winnings of over $6,500.
Next person on the tee from Arlington, Texas, Joel Baker.
And Joel is a 36-year-old pro who has posted lifetime money winnings of over $30,000. Some of his previous titles include Putter of the Year in 1979 and the National Open Television Champion in 1986.
Next person on the tee from Maple Heights, Ohio, Paul Pastelong.
And Paul's been a pro since 1976. He's posted lifetime money winnings of over $8,500, and during his career has won over 17 state tournaments in the Ohio, New York area. And among the 80-plus pro players who will be teeing off today are some of the greats from the PPA history books. Alan Quinley, a two-time PPA national champion, was recently inducted into the PPA Hall of Fame. We spoke with Alan earlier in the week during practice rounds, and here's what he had to say about his Hall of Fame induction.
It is the highest accomplishment and honor one could hope to achieve and to be recognized for. My years in the sport of putting, professional putting for 20 years, I believe I have accomplished a lot and have given a lot to the sport of putting and will continue to do so. And I'm very happy to have been recognized and respected enough to be thought of for induction into the Professional Putters Hall of Fame.
Also playing in the field today is the gentleman who was the first tournament winner ever in a PPA-sanctioned event. Back in 1960, Mr. Earl Fritz won the first professional tournament presented by the PPA in Houston, Texas. We asked Earl if he sees much difference between players of today and a generation ago. Here's what he had to say.
The difference that I see in the players today, not so much the players, except that I think they have more time to practice. They practice more. They have a little bit better equipment, although I play with the same putter I played with in 1960 when I won the first tournament. At that particular time, the courses were a little bit rougher than they are now. The concrete was not finished near as well. There was not as much emphasis put on the carpet. And the bump boards or the rails were made of wood. Sometimes they warped, so you had to play different angles. It was a whole lot tougher game than it is now.
As in any sport, perfection is a level that is always strived for, yet rarely attained. In the sport of putting, there have been billions of rounds played and only 2 perfect games of 18 since the first putt-putt golf course opened its doors June 21st, 1954. Warren Morris of Orlando, Florida recorded the first perfect game of putt-putt golf, and John Napoli of Clearwater Beach, Florida matched the feat in 1979. This far in his career, a major PPA event title has eluded Napoli. John is now on the tee and will be a popular choice of putting fans to capture today's title. And Napoli seems to be off to a great start today.
Next on the tee from Plano, Texas, Mr. Mark Portugal.
Mark Portugal from Plano, Texas has been playing putt-putt since he was 10 years old. They say he got his start when his sister went out to play putt-putt with her brownie troop and came home bragging about what a good putter she was and declared with confidence that she could beat Mark and the entire Portugal family. And beat them she did. Portugal was not a good loser to his sister and made it a point to practice his putting daily until he would issue a challenge back to his sister and return the favor. Portugal is considered a heavy favorite in today's competition. From its inception, the PPA has supported tournaments which have awarded over $7 million in prize money to putters around the world, crowned national champions, world champions, and has featured America's finest putters in televised matches annually since 1960. As we begin yet another year of televised competition, the nationally syndicated PPA television series has taken on the distinction of being one of the longest-running television events in sports history, offering the largest money winnings in the competitive putting arena. Since 1960, hundreds of PPA putters have appeared in syndicated television shows airing across the country. After this short break, we'll be right back to witness some of the expert putting that has fascinated viewers across America. Welcome back to the PPA National Championship highlights. Halfway home after 36 holes of competition, the leader in the pro division is Cliff Matthews of Houston, Texas. Matthews' score of 50, 22 under par, is 4 strokes ahead of Bill Kirby, Bob Hazlett, and 5 strokes ahead of the other 4 listed players. Matthews got his start in putt-putt competition through the Junior Putters of America League program. Through competition for boys and girls ages 9 through 14, held at participating putt-putt golf courses, Cliff earned over $1,500 in college scholarships early in his putting career and looks to use that experience to hold off today's challengers. In 1987, the Professional Putters Association organized the Putt-Putt Professional Putters Association Hall of Fame as a non-profit organization to honor the efforts of men and women who gave so graciously of their time to promote and advance putt-putt golf and the PPA. The PPA Hall of Fame is dedicated to recognizing and rewarding those members of the Professional Putters Association and the personnel of putt-putt golf courses who have contributed to the growth and quality of the sport of putting through their skill, leadership, and dedication. We heard earlier from Alan Quinley, a 1994 Hall of Fame inductee, Bill Kirby, the 1971 World Amateur Champion and 1985 Eastern Open Champion, was also a 1994 inductee into the Hall of Fame. We talked to Kirby about this honor in his putting career.
Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is one of the highlights of my career. It's an exclamation point on 35 years of playing the game. I'm looking forward to playing here in Charleston this weekend and possibly achieving one of my final goals, which is to win the national championship.
In round 3, several players made their move to the top of the leaderboard. Mark Portugal shot a third-round score of 24, 12 under par to take the lead. Matthews struggled with a 31, falling 2 shots back. And Bill Kirby is still 3 shots off the lead, with a host of players remaining in striking distance. As the 4th round began, the leaders were paired together during the final 18 holes of play. Matthews was the first to feel the pressure, falling several strokes off the pace early in the round. Bill Kirby began to put pressure on Portugal, pulling even at hole number 8. Mark Portugal began to feel frustration as the field made the turn for the final 9 holes. playing several groups ahead of the final threesome, Kevin Lacey was making a serious run at the lead with a final round of 25. Lacey would finish his competition at 34 under par and was the leader in the clubhouse with less than 9 holes remaining. Tom Butler of Erlanger, Kentucky posted a final round of 28, 8 under par, to finish his tournament 2 shots behind Lacey and tied with Dean Dwiggins of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Dwiggins came from 10 strokes back with 2 rounds to play, with final round scores of 26, 26, 20 under par. So as we head to the final 9 holes, Portugal and Kirby now know what they have to do to capture the 1994 title. We'll be right back to see who can hold out to the finish. Welcome back. Portugal pulled ahead by 3 strokes as he aced holes 10 and 11. While Kirby settled for par on both. Cliff Matthews continued to be frustrated during his 4th round, losing ground badly under the pressure. Portugal comes up just short on 12 to give Kirby an opening. Now let's join Bill Kirby at the tee on hole 12. Let's see if Kirby can take advantage of this opportunity. His ball will not make it up the hill, leaving him an extremely difficult second shot. I'm sure Kirby is very frustrated right now. He had an opening to gain a stroke on Portugal, and now he may drop further behind the leader if he does not make this follow-up putt. And he pushed it right. He'll have to settle for a bogey 3. And Bill Kirby is now 4 strokes behind with only 6 holes to play. And here's Portugal's opportunity to run away from Kirby. He may have hurried this shot a little bit, as you see how he reacts to his missed opportunity. Well, a routine par for Portugal on 13. And now Kirby must take advantage of this opening to have any shot at the title. And a much better stroke this time, with better results for Kirby. This ace pulls Kirby within 3 shots of Portugal. It'll be interesting to see whether he can pull this one out. I'm sure Kirby's aware it's a long shot, but he must continue to go for the ace to keep the pressure on Portugal. And that's a great shot. Kirby does what he has to keep his momentum going. Portugal still has a comfortable lead, but must begin to answer this run